Also this one, send it out to labels. Like, just go for it. Those two, the last two ones are ready to start releasing.
I'll be on the move, 'cause most of my life it was all about you.
Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. Today I got completely lost sitting here listening to the new speakers, listening to two of my new album songs that are entirely finished, Save the Day and About You. About You will be released at the end of January, and Save the Day probably 1.5 to 2 months later. I will play both songs in today's vlog, and there are a couple of things I would love to talk with you about really quick, just some updates. So first of all, there's a new sample pack, like the biggest sample pack I've ever made, the most complete, with like 8 of my old productions all bounced out, turned into samples, so that you have like a starting point and using samples that I already pre-selected and that I think are good enough and that I've actually used in my songs. So if you're interested, first link in the description, go get it. It's right now on sale until the end of the year. Later it will go up in price again. Number 2, I talked about my second or actually third channel, a podcast channel interviewing famous DJs, producers, people behind the scenes, bookers, promoters, club owners, and I actually wanted to start it this week, but we unfortunately have to delay it. There are some things with the distributor that are still not working, and like I'm now leaving on vacation, so I can't really deal with it, so we'll delay it to January. We'll start the year fresh with a new channel, podcast, insights into the music business world with like famous people that have a ton to tell. And since I lost so much time, I think it's about time to do another classic track submit edition for today. So welcome to Track Submits, the little emergency if I don't have any time segment within my daily DJ and producer vlog, where I listen to your songs and try to give you feedback and help you, as well as the entire community down below in the comments. So let's get started with the very first song. Nice song by Michael Cross called Deep Dive. I'd say like it's a little progressive, a little ravey, a little electro in the drop. It's not bad. I mean, it definitely has like the build up, it has the break, the arrangement is really good. The sound selection is alright. It's maybe a little bit too simple on the drop because it's just like kick and that like ravey low bass kind of that has that fuzz to it, which I like, but I'm missing like a top element to actually go on top of it, at least after a while, because after a couple of seconds he introduces like the full drums, kick, clap, hats and everything, which is nice. It adds something, but I think if you drop to absolutely nothing, like just kick and bass, eventually you have to add another main element to give the song that certain something that makes it rememberable. It could be vocals, if you have someone that can sing, but it could be also just, in this case, maybe an arpeggiator, like a really nice arpeggiator melody, and then maybe opening and closing the cutoff on the synthesizer. Those are really things that help. Another thing about the mixing is the kick. It's a little too heavy, I think, for this kind of style, because you already have the heavy bass that is really big and like has a lot of energy in the low frequencies. So I would rather go for a kick that is still punchy but shorter, like a lot shorter. If you're interested, I've put a lot of these kind of kicks that work really well for electronic dance music, that are punchy, round, nice, have like a little top click to cut through the mix, and still aren't too long and too boomy as you might need it, for example, for urban hip-hop kind of music. And yeah, they're all in the sample pack if you're interested. So let's maybe switch to the next one by Gabriel Linkdo with a song called Awakening. Not bad. Big Room song, call and response. So technically not bad. Sound design is good. I actually like it. Big Room is not really my thing, but it works. Arrangement is good. The song could be a lot longer. It's just like 2 minutes 40. That might be good for a pop radio song. Even for a pop radio song, it's maybe a little bit too short. But this is actually something you would play in a club. So make the DJs happy, make their life easy, have an intro and outro, because if the DJ is happy, they will play your song. If they're not, if it's hard to mix, if there's no intro, outro, they might actually skip your track. And this kind of stuff needs to be played in a club environment. Also here, the mix is in itself alright, but it's shifted a little. You can see it immediately in the analyzer. There is like too much top end, too little sub actually, and that's rare. Usually people have way too much sub or way too little mids, but here it's really like pushed towards the top end. So everything, the higher the frequency, the more it is pushed. So maybe just lower some of the hi-hat and like all of the elements that have high frequency content by maybe 2 or 3 dB, and then you'll get like a smoother, more equal kind of mix. Also here the low end could be a little bit tighter. Just try to get one of these kicks that is shorter, punchier, and still cuts through. I think that's like really what makes electronic dance music sound very modern and fresh, and gives you a lot more room in the mix if the kick doesn't contain everything. This one was by Martin Wolf, called Awakening, a classic future bass, dreamy vibe kind of song. I like it, because usually future bass is a little more aggressive. Here it's really fluffy, cloudy. The synth is wobbling nice. I just say it's way too quiet. You definitely need to put at least a limiter on top. I would always advise, whenever you're producing your music, at least after like the first 2 or 3 hours where you just collect ideas and sounds, to add a limiter, like just to not clip, and maybe push even the loudness a little bit, push a little into the limiter, so that you can actually hear what the song will sound like at the end when it's limited. Because if you produce without the limiter, without a master chain, and don't go too crazy like EQing, multi-band compression, just like a limiter and maybe a compressor that does like maybe 1 or 2 dB of gain reduction, just to have like a hint of feel for what it would sound like mastered, and mix into that like small little master chain. That's at least how I do it. I feel the most comfortable, because then it's no surprise once I actually send it to mastering that the song changes a lot. You don't want that. Just mix a little into a master chain. And this way the song will also be louder. And if you send it out to labels and they listen to 100 demos, if your song is louder and not distorting, you might have actually a better chance, because usually most people perceive louder better.
Everybody wants my body alive.
Really good, by Ladakh, called Everybody. So far my favorite, like bass house club kind of thing. Vocals are nice. That's like, if you don't have access to vocals, that's like perfect. Just chopping something maybe out of a sample pack, just put it in there to have something that is the main element. It's chopped nicely in a rhythmic kind of way. The bass has like this call response between the low bass and the higher bass. That is again fuzzy. The mixing is good. There's nothing sticking out. I'd say, yeah, ready for a release. Maybe add a tiny bit of distortion to the higher bass that pops in every once in a while. It sounds still a little too clean standard. Just open the synthesizer and use the preset. So if you make it rough, a little rougher, it would also help like stylistically the song. But yeah, definitely send this one out to labels. I think this is ready for release. This could be like in the BEATPORT top 100. Why not? Actually, Ladakh, if you're watching this, write me an email. I know someone that has a label where this would actually fit in really nicely. It's worth a try, so just hit me up. like it. Very complex, very playful. Mixing is alright. Sound design is very intelligent. Has a hint of future bass, a hint of like very playful, like tropical melodies in there. But it's combining things into something that is interesting, really interesting. So I like this one a lot. Call and response is really catchy and like not annoying. It's not too fast, not too slow. So also this one, send it out to labels. Like just go for it. Those two, the last two ones are ready to start releasing. Maybe not on a major, big, huge label, but like the first release on a small label, and then just work your way up. It's not easy, but that's how you start. These are definitely strong enough and stronger than my very, very first release. So I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Again, if you're interested, the new sample pack is out now. It's on sale down below in the description. If you want to submit your songs for the next episode of Track Submits, the link will be also down below in the description. And I now have to like hurry up a lot, work a lot. I still want to finish one little detail in one of the new songs, and then I actually need to take care of a ton of private stuff that is super annoying, so I'll just leave it out. And tomorrow we'll see us again back here in the studio with like a little bit of traveling at the end of the day. You'll see what I'm talking about tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching. Sign out.